Well, good afternoon. Well, good afternoon. A very warm welcome then to the Under-23 Men's Time Trial National Championships. Beautiful weather here. It's getting warmer and warmer, and we're looking forward to a great afternoon of racing.
So the time ticking away is soon going to be releasing the...
Our first rider will roll down the start ramp in about 2 minutes' time. Here's the course that the riders face yet again out of Kirkley Hall here in Northumberland. Racing out to the circuit, 11.1 kilometres around the course, 2 laps in total. And then the riders make their way back into the finish line at Kirkley Hall. Little technical, little rolling, and these under-23 men will be racing 28.6 kilometres.
The high point of the course before coming back around the lane on the way back, well and truly a proper north-east road featuring all sorts of surfaces, very narrow in places, some very sharp turns.
On the start ramp then, Adam Wild of the GS Metro. He's about to get underway. 45 riders listed, but we've lost a couple along the way. So we will see in a total of 43 riders take to the start line. So we have our intermediate time splits along the way. If you joined us for the women's race, we have 2 intermediate time splits to give us an idea of how these riders are doing. Our first rider in this under-23 national title underway then, Adam Wild of the GS Metro. So Adam just getting started, a famous club, and we've got a real mix here of pro riders and amateur riders for this national title. A famous club that has had the same colours for many, many years. So there he goes out on the course, our first rider for this national title. Our next rider up on the start ramp, Matthew Walls of 100% Me. And 100% Me is the British Academy. He's about to get started.
The rider's not able to draft or take advantage of riding behind another rider or vehicle, so they have to basically do all of the work against the wind themselves. The breeze just starting to pick up, the trees moving.
And about to get his time trial underway nicely down the start ramp. Powerfully built rider. He'll get into that aero tuck. And the British Academy looking for a good performance here. They've lost Matthew Bostock, who won't take to the start, but they've also got Ethan Hayter riding, Reese Britton, Joe Holt, a very good track rider, Joe Nally also, and Fred Wright will take to the start of this individual time trial. Our third rider about to start then, Charles Walker. Charles Walker just settling into the pedals, all the aero kit there. So many of these riders have got access to the very, very best kit. Riding with a disc wheel, looking like he's got a bladed front carbon fibre wheel in that bike. Not too windy, so the manoeuvrability should be okay, but it'll be a little bit harsh to ride if he indeed is. We'll just have a look. No, he's riding with a spoked wheel, so that's good. So he gets started. Charles Walker underway. Charles Walker then settling into the rhythm. You can see the flags moving a little bit more now than they were earlier on today. So we will see who takes this title. We've already seen Hannah Barnes take the national title for the women. This is the next rider, Rob Scott of Team Wiggins. The team which of course is run by the management of Sir Bradley Wiggins. Rob Scott just about to start his computer so he can keep a good eye on how he's doing. But Team Wiggins with a very strong team in here this afternoon as Rob Scott gets started. Starting nice and steady, a very low front on that bike. The bars are really low. Well, this team getting some good guidance. And the start of our next rider, Joe Riley. Joe Riley of Vitus Pro Cycling about to start. Another one of the British domestic professional teams. Joe Riley about to roll down the start ramp.
And the most disappointing one I ever had, I think, was from Beryl Burton at the start of a club time trial. And I went absolutely nowhere fast, nearly came off the bike. No problems for our next stop though, cleanly away out of that start house, no push start needed. Very quickly into that tough position. Arms very far forward, just in the helmet there. That is the Vitus Pro Cycling.
Number 41, Joe Riley, into that aero tuck and making his way out of Kirkley Hall for the start of this time trial. Our next rider coming onto the ramp very quickly, another member of 100% Me, which is the British Academy, Jake Stewart.
On the start clock duties. Carol, whose birthday is today, I understand. So
and interestingly, the news in the week is the new coach of the British Academy is going to be Matt Bramier, who is currently riding with Aqua Blue Sport. He's retiring from being a pro rider. He's had a great career riding for various big teams, including Ethics when he was working with Mark Cavendish. Also, finally in his career with Aqua Blue Sport. So he's going to take on the role of coaching these riders and looking after them, which is the great appointment for British Cycling to put Bramier straight into that role.
Wheels push that around about 20 miles an hour. You are normally looking at about 40 watts for a normal front spoke wheel. If you have a deep rim, you take that down.
So out on the course then, we take a look here at Jake Stewart of 100% Me as he rolls past. And the start now of our next rider, Benjamin Mansfield York of Morvello Basso Racing Team. Just about to get started, and this Morvello team known, another one of the British domestic teams.
However, it can be done smoothly out, the right shaped wheel, the right aerodynamic pace, and all of a sudden you can improve how fast you go through. Next rider down, this is a rider from the St. Piran Team Fraser Martin, Morvello Basso, my apologies, Morvello Basso rider just coming through. And it's Benjamin Mansfield York leading them out. Of course, our race leader out currently for 6 minutes 50. And,
our next rider on the start ramp then, and this is a member of the Wheelbase Castelli team, Finn Crockett.
How fast the riders go from the line, accelerating quickly up from 0 miles an hour. Pulling it hard on those bars, you can see a number of riders out, some of them maybe a little bit longer in the under-23 men's competition than they were in the...
My apologies, Fraser Martin underway then. He gets into his aero tuck.
It doesn't negate the advantages to be had by the...
And this rider then into the aero tuck, Fraser Martin of San Piran, as he rolls out of the start then. And we'll get some intermediate time splits out on the course at the end of the first lap. Our next rider up on the start is William Perrott of University of Derby Cycling Club. Getting a little bit rock and roll on as he makes his move.
Quicker back than it is out the wind direction, basically blowing the riders back round.
And just settling into that aero tuck, those hands tucked over on the front like that. A few riders choose to ride their time trial bikes like that, trying to slice through the air.
Is hidden by the trees and shaded, so where you'd want to take advantage of the...
So making his way out of Kirkley Hall to get this time trial underway.
Becoming a little bit more solidified.
The start of the next rider, and this is on the start line, Finn Crockett of Wheelbase Castelli. Just getting into that aero tuck now and getting underway in this individual time trial, wearing number 36. And the next rider to take to the start is the rider that everyone's got their eyes on. This is Tom Pidcock of Team Wiggins, the junior world champion at cyclocross and in the time trial. He won the time trial in Bergen last season. Without doubt, the hottest property in world cycling at his level. All the World Tour teams are after this rider. They want to sign him. He's turned many of them down already. He's got a big contract for cyclocross. So he's about to roll down the start ramp. Tom Pidcock underway.
Away goes one of the people to the top. That's Tom Pidcock off from the start line through the barriers and out onto course. The small of stature rider with a huge palmares heading out on course. One of the riders tips to be a potential medalist now, goes off early in the race field, and not one of the independent champions. He was junior rider last year, and as a junior rider took the World Time Trial Championships, but it was a very unique course where the riders came in from what was a flat section out on the majority of the course into the final climb. It finished at the top of what was effectively a mountain hairpin bend, and a big climb up, and Pidcock taking a victory in that. Let's see if he can replicate that on the course. He's on form. He took 3 minutes off the unofficial world title round.
So Fred Wright getting going then, making his way out of the starting area.
Seen lots of former Olympic riders out racing around the circuit over the years, got a lot of history.
Out on the course then with Tom Pidcock. Already looking very, very fast indeed. Just a thank you to all of you for watching this afternoon. If you'd like to message, post them on Facebook underneath the screen. We're going to bring you live coverage of the men's under 23 and the men's time trial this afternoon. We've already seen Hannah Barnes win the women's race. So the next rider to get started, out on the course with Tom Pidcock. And our next rider rolls down the start ramp. Sprinting out of Kirkley Hall. And working well. Really fast start from number 33, Oliver Peckover of Team KTM UK. Here is Pidcock. The speed of this rider. Cadence so high already. Pidcock looking very, very good with the very high aero socks on. Into that aero tuck. He broke the famous record just a few days ago in Yorkshire. time trial world champion as a junior, cyclocross supremo. They call him the mini Sagan on the continent, and he's looking really, really good already in this time trial. We'll find out how he does out on the course with the intermediate time splits. But Pidcock, look at the cadence that he is rocking along at right now. Comes from Otley. Got to be a little bit careful on this course this afternoon because the tarmac is now melting. It's so hot. There's quite a lot of tarmac's been placed down on the course for the filling of some of the cracks and potholes that these riders are having to avoid. But great racing here by Pidcock. What sort of intermediate split is he going to put in? Reminder then that today they ride 2 laps of the course. Pidcock then keeping a high cadence as much as possible as we see the start then of the next rider. This is Paul Double of Zappi Racing Team. Thanks for all your messages on Facebook. The start then of the next rider going out of Kirkley Hall to get his time trial underway.
Double of the Zappi Racing Team. Zappi team having an absolutely storming season. Lots of riders racing.
Start of the next rider.
Mark Donovan putting in an amazing performance, holding on to the Maglia Rosa pink jersey of a racer leader. And of course, last night, Mason Honeyman repeating his form that he saw him taking wins in Monmouthshire.
Our next rider onto the start line. This is from Benjamin Trippier of the Crimson Performance Race Team. And about to roll down the start ramp to get his time trial underway. The last little bit of instruction from our commissaire. On the left-hand side there, Carol Lee, very well known in the British domestic circuit. It's her birthday today, so she will be enjoying some birthday cake later on once she gets all these national titles decided. Benjamin Trippier of Crimson Performance Race Team is underway. Out here on the course then as we join up with Fred Wright. This is the rider from 100% Me. And Fred Wright, we've dropped back from Tom Pidcock. Another nice, lovely style here from Fred Wright. He tries to keep that cadence nice and high, just concentrating on keeping the pedals kicking over. Our first intermediate time split comes up around about 13 and a bit kilometres. So this loop is 11.1. The ride out to the start is 3 kilometres in total. Next rider to start will be Charlie Quarterman of the Leopard Pro Cycling.
Support here at the HSBC UK Time Trial Championships.
Back out on the course then with Fred Wright, looking strong at the moment. The wind is certainly starting to pick up a little bit, so that could have a bearing on some of these riders later on today. And he's keeping those shoulders nice and easy, dropping the head a little bit though, that's a bit of a problem. Joe Nally, 100% Me. So Joe Nally is underway. Number 28 gets started. Joe Nally of 100% Me, another member of this British Academy squad. Lovely pedalling style there. So metronomic, isn't he, Fred Wright, the way he just spins the pedals over. Just trying to keep hunched over. He is losing a little bit of time here and there, though. Next rider on the start ramp, riding for St Piran, Matt Langworthy. This is one of the teams from Cornwall, down in the southwest of Great Britain.
Riders choosing a gear that will get them up nice and quickly, very quickly into the track bar for our next starter.
Nice whoosh as he goes past the camera there.
Down from the start line.
And concentrating hard. All riders have got to be all-round riders, haven't they now? You've got to be able to time trial, you've got to be able to ride the climbs. Had a little bit of a problem there with his gears, but now he's spinning over quite nicely. Sort of expectation of the time that the riders will do. Let's just take a look here at the Kings North International rider, Kieran Hodson. Kings North's an interesting team. It's been a team that's taken riders to Europe for many, many years, and is quite a famous club. So the Kings North International wheelers underway.
Standard race, and they're checked on the jig by the commissaire team, the race referees, who are here in.
So Tom Bayliss will be the last rider to go later on this afternoon. We'll find out how he does.
Through the start, finish straight underneath the gantry, head out 2 left-hand turns out of the gate.
Starting now then is from the Zappies racing team. This is Jake Wright. Zappies, another team that is very well known.
From the Shimano stand, from the coffee stand.
And this team is run by a former Italian pro rider who has set this team up in the UK. Takes the team abroad a lot. They tend to race in Italy a lot, as well as racing the British domestic scene as well. So the Zappies rider is underway. Jake Wright.
So issues out on the course for Matt Walls of 100% Me. Sounds like issues with a wheel for...
Tom Pidcock is the rider who is doing well out on the course. The fastest time split so far, Adam Wilde of GS Metro. 19 minutes 53.65 for the first rider to reach there. I think the biggest comparison we will get is when Tom Pidcock arrives there. Next rider to take to the start will be Ben Turner. Very, very good rider in terms of cyclocross. He rides for the Corendon team. He's about to get started. Same team that Mathieu van der Poel rides for. As Ben Turner rolls out of the starting area. One of the riders who finished in the top 3 in the World Cyclocross Championships in the same year as Tom Pidcock, when Pidcock took the title. So Ben Turner relaxing and getting underway.
Professional based on the
Corendon Circus rider has got started. Dan Pullen was supposed to be the next rider to start, but we will not see him take to the start line.
Cyclocross in the national championships and the national series, a handy road rider as well, a tall figure able to generate plenty of watts.
Update then on the screen. Charles Walker now second fastest split. Adam Wilde third. He gets dropped down. Rob Scott is now the leader. 18:36. Considerably faster through that intermediate time split for Rob Scott. Tom Pidcock will reach there soon. Well, that was just a reminder of Hannah Barnes taking the victory. Out on the course then, we see some of these riders going through the camera as we wait for our next rider to start. Dan Pullen doesn't take to the start for Cycling Sheffield. He was number 23. The next rider then up on the ramp. This is Alex Dalton of the Wheelbase Castelli. Everyone enjoying beautiful weather this afternoon here in Kirkley Hall, and it's a beautiful setting for this individual time trial. Thanks to all of you for watching here on Facebook. Don't forget, at the weekend we will bring you live coverage of the men's and women's road races. It will be on around 3 o'clock in the afternoon UK time, and we will also be live on ITV4 and also on Eurosport throughout the weekend. Thanks for all your messages.
19 minutes and 43 seconds to get a winning time.
Lots of you watching now on Facebook this afternoon. Tell your friends, tell them where you can watch the racing. Our next rider to start then will be Joe Holt. This rider, a very talented young track rider, came to prominence in the Revolution series where he was one of the future stars, and now he's a member of this Great Britain team, a member of this 100% Me, the team which is the Academy of Great Britain. And Joe Holt, a very good attacking rider, very good time trialist, very good pursuiter, counted down to his race start.
But Matt Bostock, 100% Me, not a starter today. So the riders coming through that time check at half race distance, out fast at the moment in 5th place at that time check, 22 minutes and 11 is Matt Walls, the rider who's had problems with that rear wheel. Joe Riley currently in...
Joe Holt then settling into the aero skis to continue his individual time trial. Here's the current standings out on the course. The fastest rider to the first split with a significant advantage, Rob Scott of Team Wiggins. So Rob Scott is the rider that everyone has got to chase now. Second is Jake Stewart. And the next placed rider is Charles Walker. Next rider then on the start ramp, a Scottish rider from Dooley Cycles. This is Alexander McRae. Dooley Cycles, a well-known team, wearing the Saltire of Scotland proudly on the shoulders as he gets into that aero tuck, see whether he can produce the performance to win today's under-23 national title. Thick and fast now. The last few riders go at 2-minute intervals, but until we get to the last 5, everyone is at a 1-minute interval. Nicholas Cooper of Active Edge Race Team. He's wearing number 19 and about to get started. His last 5-second countdown before he gets underway. These little start ramps, always difficult to deal with. So many time trials in Great Britain don't start with start ramps. Time trialling in Great Britain has been an historic sport. As we look out here on the course, these riders just going up this little rise. Nice position there on the left-hand side, just to relax and enjoy the racing. But there'll be riders who are really suffering in this heat this afternoon. This is not easy in terms of the weather conditions. The wheelbase rider about to get going. This is Angus Claxton of Wheelbase Castelli, another member of this squad. So his teammates are already out on the course, the likes of Finn Crockett. Still the fastest time is Rob Scott at the intermediate time split.
Fastest time is Rob Scott at that split with 18:36, just getting in a time. Will Perrott now coming in 18:43.
Well, the wheelbase rider just a little bit uncomfortable on that bike by the looks of things, kicking that hip a little bit. Here's the current standings out on the course. Still Rob Scott with 18.36 of the first time split. Will Perrott of University of Derby in second place, 18.43. Then it's Jake Stewart of 100% Me. That's the standings at the first intermediate time split. Starting now, Matthew Downey of Tap Cervelo.
At the moment, for those riders without incident, ranging from 20 minutes 30 seconds to 18 minutes 36 seconds out for the leg out and the first lap.
And started then, Matthew Downey of Tap Cervelo. Settling down as he gets nice and relaxed into this individual time trial, and then puts his nose right down on the forearms, trying to be as aerodynamic as possible.
I think that was Matt Downey of the Tap Cervelo team, just making his way down the start straight. The rider's accompanied by the police as well.
Stepping onto his bike then, another member of the Zappi Racing team, Nick McKibben, about to get going.
Races, not just bike races, but also major events up and down the length and breadth of the country. But without them, we certainly couldn't put on as many bike races as we do, and certainly not make them viable to run year on year. Great to see so many of the energy out supporting this event. A massive thank you to them, and of course all of the volunteers who make the Cyclone Festival happen. The Cyclone Festival, of course, incorporating the HSBC.
Nick McKibben of Zappi Racing team gets going. All the photographers out down there in that ditch, looking to get the best photos they can for these national championships.
Second fastest time. He's just been beaten and pushed down in second place. Tom Pidcock.
So Tom Pidcock has just reached the intermediate time split. And here we go. Here's the news out on the course. Well, not a significantly faster time, but still the fastest time. Tom Pidcock of Team Wiggins goes to the top of the leaderboard. 18.33.94 compared to 18.36.17. So Pidcock is living up to his billing as we go out on the course with Ben Turner. Here is Ben Turner. And the start of the next rider, Rhys Britton of 100% Me.
Of Team Wiggins, a bronze medalist in 2016. One of the
another member of the Great Britain Academy, settling into his rhythm. So Tom Pidcock then with a very fast time, 18.33.94 for Pidcock out on the course. Ben Turner looking here to try and get on terms with the Team Wiggins rider. Pidcock setting the standard for everyone else to beat. Turner riding his Canyon low profile time trial bike, all the little aero trick bits that are on this bike, the same make of bike that he rides in the cyclocross. Ben Turner then churning the pedals over. He's a tall rider, very, very powerful. Our next rider about to get started, William Corbett of the Ribble cycling team. William Corbett of Ribble Cycling jumps over that little speed bump. Another team that was formed this season. There's a few new teams in Great Britain, including the Holdsworth team, which is the throwback to the retro team of many years ago with their very bright orange kit. And we'll see some of their riders later on. Here is Ben Turner then as he concentrates on just keeping the watts nice and high, keeping the tempo on, trying to get somewhere near the time of Tom Pidcock. 18.33.94 for Tom Pidcock. The start of the next rider, George Evans of Team Bottrell Vanguard, run by Matt Bottrell, a prolific time trialist in Great Britain. So it could be interesting to see how he does out on the course.
More than holding his own with a sub 20-minute first lap.
Tom Pidcock is riding somewhere around 46 kilometres an hour right now on this course, which is technical and it's rolling and it's pretty hard. So it just shows you how fast Pidcock is going out here on this circuit. It really plays into his hands. It's not one of those courses where it's totally flat, where you have to just be extremely powerful. You've got to be technically good on this course through the corners, and you've also got to be able to descend, and you've got to be able to climb. So Pidcock does have good assets to help him perform well. Andy Brown then of Metal Tech Toyota about to get going.
Back down into the Tamworth Lane, coming back down that little lane and down up through the houses, dropping down through the woods. Now it would be where you get a tailwind section when you're out on the course. The problem is that that is the most tree-lined of the sections.
Metal Tech Toyota, which is a team that domestically did very well over the last few seasons. Their team owner Andy Swain has calmed down from running this team. He's gone away to have a family, so he's just taking a little bit of a break, but a very well-known team that has produced some very, very good riders, and also a team that domestically has challenged some of the bigger teams in some of the big races. So great to see them. Ben Turner continuing with his time trial. Looks good, doesn't he? Lovely position on the bike, really powerful. As we go back to another teammate of Tom Pidcock, this is Dylan Kerfoot Robson of Team Wiggins. Another good time trialist then, Dylan Kerfoot Robson of Team Wiggins. Settling into his rhythm. Only 9 riders left to start this individual time trial. Looks to me like Ben Turner can see a rider in front of him now. So he's just following the motorbike. Loads of the local riders out to support these individual time trialists, but also importantly the motorbikes out to make sure that these riders have safe passage around this course. Next member of the 100% Me team, this rider is a world champion of the team pursuit. This is Ethan Hayter about to get underway.
Cycling comes through 20 seconds faster than Pidcock at the half race distance. Now see if he will be able to maintain that. Can Pidcock respond?
Ethan Hayter into that aero tuck very, very quickly. So disciplined on making sure that he can produce the best possible performance. And here's the car. Oh, look at this. Charlie Quarterman of Leopard Pro Cycling has taken 18 seconds out of Tom Pidcock on this course. That is a spectacular performance by the Leopard Pro Cycling rider Charlie Quarterman. 18 seconds from Tom Pidcock, the junior world champion. The start then of Zeb Kiffin of Ribble Cycling, wearing number 9. Oh, Charlie Quarterman, not a rider we expected to produce a performance like that. The question mark is, has he gone out too quick?
So Charlie Quarterman came through. He had the fastest split. That was 18:15:35. So just waiting to see
the start of our next rider, Josh Copley of TBW Bottecchia Wigmore Racing Team. Charlie Quarterman of Leopard Pro Cycling. I think he's surprising everyone out there. Very, very impressive indeed with his intermediate time split. Lives in Girona. And Leopard, you may remember if you're a fan of cycling, had a big professional team. Eventually morphed into what now is the Trek Segafredo team. But they still have a development squad on the road. And that is which Charlie Quarterman now rides for. Here we are with the split. So the fastest time at the first split is 18:15, but now we're starting to get riders go through the second split and head back towards the finish line. So not long until we see Rob Scott finish his individual time trial. Fastest time for him, second place for Adam Wilde of the GS Metro squad. Onto the start line then for Spirit Tifosi Racing Team's Marcus Burnett.
So Rob Scott, fastest rider at the...
Won't be long then until we see our first riders come back to the finish line. But we've got our last 5 riders to take to the start. And number 7, Marcus Burnett, is now underway.
So GS Metro rider Wild along with Scott due back with us very shortly indeed. Very interesting. Wild and Walker, they were some of the first riders out on course. Walker put in the
but the surprise of the moment then is Charlie Quarterman,
then Wild get a faster second,
riding for the Leopard Pro Cycling Team.
So lots of people changing position already between first and
So a little gap here while Matt Bostock didn't take to the start for 100% meet. Our next rider to start will be Gabriel Colleague of Team Wiggins. And there's our standings. So just if you look at the purple, that will tell you who's the leader at each split. Charlie Quarterman of Leopard Pro Cycling, 18:15. Maybe surprising Tom Pidcock here with 18 seconds advantage. Rob Scott, the fastest at the second split, with 15:05. Charlie Quarterman, only 19 years of age, out on the course so far this season. He's ridden a lot of big races for this Leopard Pro Cycling Team. And the bike arrives for Gabriel Colleague. And out on the course there. We wait then for the start of Gabriel Colleague. Charlie Quarterman, who's out on the course so far this season. He's ridden some races like the Tour of Antalya, the Triptyque Mont Chateau. He's been learning his trade very well over with the Leopard Pro Cycling Team. And the start then of Gabs Colleague of Team Wiggins.
For Adam Wilde, the GS Metro rider. We're expecting that to soon be displaced into second place. Rob Scott not far off getting back. He's much quicker. In fact, here he comes.
We're seeing the arrival then of the first rider at the finish line. There he is. He hits the line. Rob Scott sets the standard for everyone else to beat. 37 minutes, 34.963. No, we're just waiting for his time to come up.
Coming in over 2 minutes quicker. So
Rob Scott
in the house at the moment.
waiting for his confirmation of his time. Right, the start then of Gabs Colleague. He rolls down the start ramp then for Team Wiggins.
Was some 10 seconds faster than Adam Wilde, and that's on 3 kilometres. So it's just what difference it makes. Rob Scott really fighting into the finish.
Rob Scott then setting the fastest time. His time 37 minutes 34 seconds. He sets the standard for everyone else to beat. Rob Scott at the top of the leaderboard for Team Wiggins. 4 riders left to start.
So next rider coming into the finish here. Kirkley Hall for
And the finish then of number 43, Charles Walker.
Time and trial underway. Fastest time held by Rob Scott, 37.34. Second place at the moment, Adam Wilde of GS Metro with a 39.47. Third place, Charles Walker with a 39.51. So next riders in, we're expecting to see Perrett, Stewart, Riley and Walls on the way back in.
Well, thank you for joining us. The current leader then, Rob Scott of Team Wiggins, 37 minutes 34.
At split number 1, that's after the ride out to the circuit and the first lap of the circuit. And his time at that point, 18 minutes 15 seconds. Very, very quick indeed. So, waiting for our next riders down, steadily working our way down through the list. We're now into the big favourites at the moment.
So more riders out on the course. As you can see, a beautiful area that these riders are racing through.
Good news for the riders, certainly not how you want.
On to the start. Well, Charlie Quarterman, hopefully we can get some shots of him out on the course. He's coached by Magnus Backstead, the former winner of the Paris-Roubaix, and he is producing a great performance right now. It could be the fastest performance of this first phase of riders. And the arrival of the next rider, that was Matt Walls finishing the course.
Into fourth place. Now Matt Walls was the rider who had problems with his wheel. Here comes through. This is going to be Stewart coming in.
The arrival of Jake Stewart.
But it's still Rob Scott with that 37, 34 taking the top.
And Rob Scott still at the top of the leaderboard. Here we are out on the course. This is the rider who is setting the standard. What a performance this rider is putting in. Charlie Quarterman of Leopard Pro Cycling. And he is setting the pace that everyone else is trying to beat. Already ahead of the time of Tom Pidcock of Team Wiggins. Pidcock has just gone through the second split. 15 minutes 1.17. So Pidcock is going to set a fast time at the finish, but we're concentrating now on the rider who has been setting the pace. This is Charlie Quarterman, rides for Leopard Pro Cycling. We go back to the start line, and this is Joey Walker of Team Wiggins. We just missed Joe Evans of St. Piran taken to the start. Only 2 riders left to start now, but Charlie Quarterman, Magnus Backstead has sent me a message and says that he should go even quicker in the second half of this time trial if the plan that they have set out goes to plan. So this rider is surprising everybody, wearing number 29. He looks very, very good. All the aero trick bits as well on the bike. He's truly well set up. So we're going to wait for the arrival of Tom Pidcock at the finish. And we're going to come in all the way with this rider by the looks of things. A great performance by Charlie Quarterman. You can see the pace of him. Metronomic out on the bike right now. Looks very, very good. The arrival then of the next rider to the line. So Will Perrett comes in. So we should see Tom Pidcock next. Pidcock has set this fastest intermediate time split, so at the finish we should see Tom Pidcock coming in any moment now. The start then of Charlie Tanfield of Canyon Iceberg, but Tom Pidcock not far from the finish line now. Tanfield about to get started. World champion of the team pursuit. We're waiting for Pidcock now to arrive. Here comes Pidcock. No, the next rider coming in. This is Crockett, so Pidcock should be just behind him then. Here's Charlie Quarterman, catching the rider in front of him as well. Joe Nally is the rider he's hunting down. Where is Pidcock? Charlie Tanfield, world champion team pursuit, about to get underway. Individual pursuit, Commonwealth champion. We wait for the arrival of Pidcock then. Tom Pidcock not far from the line. This is Charlie Quarterman wearing number 29, looking good, but Pidcock has set the fastest split at the second split, 15.01.17. Is he fighting back against Pidcock? There is Pidcock arriving. He hits the line. Tom Pidcock goes to the top of the leaderboard. 37.23.428. Pidcock goes to the top of the leaderboard by 11.5 seconds. Finishing there, number 36, Finn Crockett. Well, Pidcock's done everything he can. So there we are, there's the standings, but the ominous split we're waiting for is Charlie Quarterman. This is the rider that has gone faster than Pidcock through the first intermediate time split. Has Pidcock used his stamina to good effect to come back at the time of Charlie Quarterman? Only one rider left to start. Quarterman, look at the speed through these corners, looking superb. The start then of Tom Bayliss of One Pro Cycling. Tom Bayliss then is about to get underway. So Tom Bayliss then just asking to be moved to one side. Silver medalist in the Under-23 Championships last season. And he's underway. All the riders then have started. So Charlie Quarterman, is he going to set the standard as we see the next rider come in from 100% Me? That looked like Fred Wright. Has just finished fourth fastest time for Fred Wright of 100% Me. Charlie Quarterman not far from the line. We're waiting for his split. His split is significantly faster. 14 minutes and looks to me like he's gone through 14 minutes and 27 seconds, which is over half a minute faster than the time of Tom Pidcock. Charlie Quarterman, this rider has surprised everyone in this first phase of riders. Whether he can hold on to beat the likes of Charlie Tanfield and the other riders who are now out on the course remains to be seen. But so far in this first phase of riders coming into the finish, and he's not far from the finish line now. He's in this final 3 kilometre phase. He is certainly the best rider so far. Charlie Quarterman then heading in towards the conclusion of this time trial, being held up a little bit by Paul Double of the Zappies racing team. Not far from the line now. Caught his rider for 2 minutes. So he's going to turn in now soon to the finish line. Not far to go. He'll see Tom Bayliss on the other side of the road soon. And Bayliss is making his way out to start his individual time trial. This is a great ride here by Charlie Quarterman. Paul Double just concentrating here on trying to stay with this rider. So the time to beat at the finish, 37 minutes 23.428. Motorbike unable to go past, of course, as Quarterman starts to disappear. The way he just lent his way through that turn. Very, very good indeed. Not far from the line then. The arrival of the next rider. That looked like Oliver Peckover, who just finished there in 8th place. So the time to beat so far, Tom Pidcock, Team Wiggins, 37.23.428. Matt Langworthy just finished for St. Piran as well, but still the top three remain Pidcock, Scott and Perrott. Fred Wright there in 4th place. But the finish of Charlie Quarterman is going to tell us what the standard is going to be to beat. Where is he? He's in the black kit. We know how well he's gone so far. He's not far from the line.
He's all over the road, but he's still
hits the line then.
He comes through.
Charlie Quarterman goes top of the leaderboard. 36 minutes 29.274. Quarterman reaches the line 54 seconds faster than the time of Tom Pidcock, which is a huge turn up for the books. Charlie Quarterman of Leopard Pro Cycling, 36 minutes 29.274 to 23.428. He will have surprised everybody. Trained by Magnus Backstead, the former winner of the Paris-Roubaix. Charlie Quarterman then has set a standard that I wonder whether anyone is going to be able to beat.
Fastest splits all the way through, 36 minutes 29.
That's a very, very impressive performance by Charlie Quarterman. So the top three then. Quarterman leads, Pidcock is second, Scott is third. So Leopard Pro Cycling, Tom Pidcock from Wiggins, Rob Scott of Team Wiggins. But out on the course, we still have some very, very good riders. Last year's silver medalist Tom Bayliss, Charlie Tanfield, world champion of the team pursuit. Gabs Calais, who's been on great form recently. Ethan Hayter, world champion of the team pursuit. Just looking at some of the time splits, no one yet getting close to that time.
Looks like Ben Turner, who the cameras were following, he's out of the ballpark. 19:19, the split for number one. Looks like Ethan Hayter not on a great ride, 19:08, so 19-minute splits. Remember our race leader.
Back here at the finish line. Thank you very much for joining us for today's live stream.
In fact, all of the rows inside the top four, inside 19 minutes for their.
We will bring you the men's time trial later on. If you'd like to message me, message on Facebook or message my Twitter at Ant McCrossan, and that's where we can give you any answers to any of the questions that you want to ask about today's individual time trials. But no doubt this rider has surprised everyone. He wasn't on the lips of anybody at the race start. It was all about the performance of the likes of Pidcock, who was feeling very confident about today's time trial. But Charlie Quarterman has taken 54 seconds out of the junior world champion.
All of the race results will be on the British.
And the next rider coming in towards the finish line now. Charlie Quarterman's time. I wonder how long that's going to stand. And the arrival of the next rider to the finish. Hitting the line then. Matt Langworthy of St Piran finishes. His time, fourth fastest time for Matt Langworthy of St Piran. Time of 37.42.937. Well, I would have said anyone who was inside 38 minutes today would have been thinking, right, I'm in with a chance of a medal. But that performance by Charlie Quarterman has left everyone thinking, wow, I needed to go an awful lot quicker to get somewhere in the medals.
So next rider on the way in to the finish here.
The arrival of the next rider from 100% Me, Joseph Nally, completes the course.
Timing team here from HSBC. Across the line, Gundam for 10th place at the moment, as we're partway through. Our finishers coming back in at the moment, having finished the race. Currently 17 riders home And top of the tree, Charlie Quarterman of Leopard Pro Cycling, currently sitting in top spot. Pidcock in second, and Scott in third place. Langworthy, Perrott, Wright, Double, Crockett, Stewart and Nally, the riders running down to 10th place.
This is the men's under-23 National Championship time trial of Great Britain. Here at the finish line. So far then, 17 riders have finished. The arrival of our next rider to the line. And that was Ben Trippier of Crimson Performance Race Team. He finishes 18th fastest, a time of 43 minutes 6.866. So the coaching of Magnus Backstead has paid dividends here for Charlie Quarterman so far. Based down in Girona, riding for this Leopard team, and certainly they've spotted his talent. Must admit we haven't heard too much about him. He's been riding on the continent for the last couple of seasons, but today he is now already making a name for himself. This is the place to do it. You're up against the best under-23 riders in Great Britain. Coming into the finish line then, hitting the line, and that was Ben Turner. So Ben Turner hits the line, 7th fastest time for Ben Turner for Corendon Circus, time of 38 minutes 16.717.
And pushes Nally out of the top 10.
Still the top three remain: Charlie Quarterman, Leopard, Tom Pidcock, Team Wiggins, Rob Scott of Team Wiggins. Another rider coming up to the line now. And the arrival of the Kings North International Wheelers rider, Kieran Hodson. Kieran Hodson, 17th fastest time, as you can see down there. And the arrival of the next rider comes up to the finish from the Zappies racing team. Jake Wright completes the course. So Jake Wright, he comes in there, 17th fastest for him, a time 40 minutes 21.150. Out on the course then, here we are with Gabs Calaig of Team Wiggins. So Calaig so far out on the course, seems to be riding well. We'll see whether he starts to move up to the top of the leaderboard. Rocking and rolling a little bit, but nicely relaxed, keeping those pedals spinning over nicely. He's a powerful rider, a very, very good sprinter, but also is able to produce good performances on those punchy climbs as well. Riding the deep section carbon wheel here, about as deep as he would go, and the carbon fibre wheel on the back as well. Clicking his way through the gears. Riding this relatively same equipment as Brad Wiggins rode in the time that he was with Team Sky. So the same time trial bikes, really lovely setup. And Wiggins has been going to a few races with these young riders over the last few weeks. just trying to give them a little bit of mentoring and giving them a bit of insight as to how to ride at this level. But Colleague keeping the cadence nice and high, his work rate is high, keeping those knees picking up all the time. Wearing number 5, we'll find out whether he's in on the performances, but Charlie Quarterman's times so far, no rider other than him has gone through the split anywhere close to his times. Pidcock is the closest rider, 18 seconds down at the first of the intermediate time splits.
Split number 1, still Bayliss.
So we wait for the arrival of the next rider to the line.
Some of the big names now coming into split 1.
And this is the arrival of the next rider to the finish. And that was Alex Dalton of the Wheelbase Castelli team.
17th place on the course, riders out at split 1, completing lap number
Alex Dalton's time, 17th fastest for the Wheelbase Castelli team, 40 minutes and 1 second. So no change in the top 3 at this moment in time. And the arrival of the next rider, and that is Joe Holt. Joe Holt of 100% Me reaches the line. Looks like the 12th fastest time for Joe Holt of 100% Me. Confirmation there, the little yellow on the left-hand side signifying Joe Holt. 39:34.453. Joe Holt, 12th fastest time.
So Joe Walker now putting in his first split time. And the first split time is disappointing. There are no other words for it. An 18:53 means he's out of the ballpark. He's currently
out on the course then. So many of these top name riders, they need to turn the heat up on Charlie Quarterman. Still the leader. The top 3 remain and have remained. We did think at the start that the winner might come from the first phase of riders, but it was Tom Pidcock we were thinking about. We know that Charlie Tanfield will be looking to win this title. Tom Bayliss was one of the stars of the Tour de Yorkshire, and he also was riding very well at the weekend.
So he could dive into the mix, but we still await the split time.
So we wait and find out who will take this title. The last 4 years has been Scott Davis. Scott Davis, though, will be riding the elite race. He now rides for Dimension Data. Gabs Colleague, bronze medalist in 2016. Last year, Bayliss. We're hearing out on the course then that Charlie Tanfield has set the fastest time split by 5 or 6 seconds, actually 6 seconds faster than the time of Charlie Quarterman. So it's Charlie Tanfield then who is going faster out on the course now. Tanfield, the world champion of the team pursuit, individual pursuit Commonwealth champion, the 21-year-old Charlie Tanfield of Canyon Iceberg, then the fastest rider on the course.
Minutes and 15 for Quarterman now. What can Bayliss do? We're waiting for Bayliss to come in. He's the only rider not to reach that first split time.
Tom Bayliss was the silver medalist last year. Bronze medalist was Tanfield. Gabs Colleague, bronze medalist in 2016. Previous winners of this under-23 titles. We turn our attention back to the next rider. Hitting the line then. So Nick Cooper of Active Edge Racing Team completes the course. Well, the last few years then, as we just take a look here at the results so far, Quarterman leads, Pidcock second, Scott in third, but we're hearing out on the course now that Charlie Tanfield is the fastest rider. The completion of the course by the wheelbase rider, that was Angus Claxton. And Claxton 16th fastest time, 39 minutes 49.792. And the arrival of the next rider to the line, that's the Dooley Cycles rider.
Matt Downey comes into 11th place, another rider inside.
And that was Matt Downey actually of Tapsavello. Matt Downey of Tapsavello completes the course 11th fastest time with a time of 39.7.125.
Now we would be expected to see that time coming up any second now, because Tanfield has the fastest time at split number 1.
We're waiting for the arrival of Tom Bayliss at the first intermediate time split.
Doesn't mean he's off the course. It might
Gabs Colleague, we've seen some action from him.
but we'll be expecting him to.
And here we are out on the course with Joey Walker of Team Wiggins. Joey Walker not really on the pace at this moment in time.
Is well off the pace at half.
And reaching the line then, the next rider. And that was Matthew Downey. Sorry, the Zappies rider completes the course then, Nick McKibben. So the fastest rider on the course right now is Charlie Tanfield of Canyon Iceberg. Tom Bayliss is off the pace. It looks like Tom Bayliss has started very steady, so it's Tanfield who is the rider that is setting the tempo for everyone. The rider from One Pro Cycling, Tom Bayliss, losing some time here. This is Joey Walker. Joey Walker, the son of Chris Walker, one of the most prolific winners of British races in his career. An extremely talented bike rider indeed. And Joey, his sister also, Jessie Walker, rode as a professional rider. She rode the Giro Rosa and other such races. But certainly right now, the rider who is setting the pace is Charlie Tanfield. Bayliss dropping away a little bit.
Looking to step up this time round is Charlie Tanfield at the moment, who has the fastest first lap split. Just waiting for him to come round into his second split. Meanwhile, Ethan Hayter, George Evans, Dylan Kerfoot-Robson, Andy Brown and Will Corbett, along with Reece Britton, now on that leg back in. So we should see a flurry of riders back in at the finish very, very shortly. So Hayter, Evans, Kerfoot-Robson, along with Reece Britton coming back here, and the fast rider of the lot is Evans at the moment. Our next rider on the way in. 100%.
And the finish of the next rider,
Reece Britton comes through next to the riders. We told you they're going to come.
Reece Britton.
That's George Evans. So Evans comes into 6th place for the Team Bottrell rider, 38.04.
Out on the course with Charlie Tanfield. This is the rider who is setting the pace. The time to beat is Charlie Quarterman's time, 36 minutes 39. .36.29, the time to beat Charlie Quarterman's Leopard racing team. But can Charlie Tanfield do that? It won't be long until we see him arrive at the second intermediate time split. He's been out on the course since 2:33. So he's about 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes from the finish line now. The arrival of the next rider.
All the way into the line, and looks like Will Corbett.
That was
40 minutes 30.
The arrival of the next rider, George Evans, Team Bottrell Vanguard. But this is Charlie Tanfield. Tanfield looking strong at the moment. Can he produce the fastest time? Charlie Tanfield looking to set the standard and take this medal away from Charlie Quarterman of Leopard Pro Cycling. The arrival of the next rider. This should be Rhys Britton. So Rhys Britton comes in. Now Ethan Hayter goes in. Ethan Hayter with a great performance then. Ethan Hayter of 100% Me, 37 minutes 25.644. So we haven't seen Ethan Hayter out on the course, but he goes into the bronze medal position. So it's between those three riders at the moment. Quarterman, Pidcock and Hayter in the gold, silver and bronze medal positions. So what's going to happen out on the course then with Charlie Tanfield? Tanfield is the rider who's setting the tempo that everyone needs to try and beat. Tom Bayliss is out of it at the moment. The arrival of the next riders to the line. And the Metal Tech Toyota rider there, Andy Brown, completes the course. The Team Wiggins rider, Dylan Kerfoot-Robson. Neither of those riders troubling the leaders. So there we are, Dylan Kerfoot-Robson, 15th place for him. Out on the course then. It's all about Charlie Tanfield. Wearing number 2, a great season he's had. The 21-year-old rider from Canyon Iceberg. What a Commonwealth Games this rider had. He was one of the members of the team who was put together by Dan Bigham, and they rode as a team of composite riders initially. Then they rode together. They rode the Track World Cups. They came to the notice of British Cycling. Eventually, British Cycling couldn't say no to them. They had to be selected. They rode some of the World Cups for Great Britain, and then they rode the World Championships. Tanfield took the Team Pursuit World title. This rider is looking superbly good right now. You can see another rider just in front of him. The cars of Joey Walker are just on the horizon now for Charlie Tanfield. The arrival of the next rider. And that was the arrival there of Zeb Kirfin. He comes in 11th fastest time for the rider from the Ribble Cycling team. We haven't seen Tom Bayliss, but we know that Tom Bayliss isn't in the ballpark. So we're concentrating on Charlie Tanfield. Tanfield making his way towards the finish. Now here he goes. Can he set the fastest time? Tanfield may be 8 minutes or so from the line now. Really ramping this up now, isn't he? The time to beat, 36.29.274. Tanfield is absolutely flying. Now he's onto this faster section. He was going uphill then. Now he's going to really start to move as he stays in that aero tuck. He's so powerful. His brother Harry will be in the time trial for men this afternoon. Don't forget that will be at 5 o'clock. Tanfield keeping that nose right down on the arms, just letting the vibrations go through the aero skis. Turns this right-hander now. Oh, still on the bars, right on the limit for Charlie Tanfield. He's so good at bike handling. Tanfield now through again on the aero skis through that corner. Impressive time trialling by Charlie Tanfield. Keeping the cadence nice and high. So Tanfield, the time to beat he knows. Look at the stacks on those bars to get that position exactly how he wants it. Riding that low profile machine. Won't be long until he gets to the end of this section. the arrival of the next rider. This should be Josh Copley. So Josh Copley crosses the line then, wearing number 8. And Burnett crosses the line wearing number 7. So not many riders left now. Confirmation then of those riders completing the course. Still the same 3 remain. Here is Charlie Tanfield. So we only have, by my reckoning, 5 riders left. Tanfield into the aero tuck. Maybe we'll get the chance to see Bayliss on the run-in to the finish, as we see Tanfield heading towards the final part of this course. Looks superb, doesn't he? Charlie Tanfield riding for this Canyon Iceberg team. The bronze medalist in 2017. Can he turn it into gold? Pidcock's going to be disappointed. So far sitting in the silver medal position. Hayter sitting in the bronze medal position. But Quarterman at this moment is looking at a medal in the face. This could be a big medal for Charlie Quarterman. Charlie Tanfield going through that right-hander. Still on the limit through some of these roads where the tarmac is melting. Sorry about the little bit of picture freeze and break up as we go back to the finish line. Well, Tom Bayliss, we're not seeing his time yet. The arrival then of Gabs Calaig of Team Wiggins as he hits the line then. Calaig hits the line, 6th fastest time for the former bronze medalist. So still the top 3 remain, Quarterman, Pidcock and Hayter. So Leopard Pro Cycling, Team Wiggins and 100% Me are the 3 teams holding the medals right now. And only 4 riders left to finish. The medals for me are between this rider here and possibly Bayliss, because we haven't seen anything of his splits out on the course. We don't know what he's doing. As he turns left now off the circuit, Charlie Tanfield is heading now towards the finish line. We'll wait for him at the line. So it's all about the finish now next of Joe Evans of St. Piran. Quarterman, Pidcock and Hayter are the riders who are out on the course, out here at the finish as the leaders of this individual time trial. Joe Evans still on the course, Joey Walker on the course, Charlie Tanfield and Tom Bayliss. All of those riders, bar Bayliss, are now on the 3 kilometre run-in to the finish line. Time to beat, 36 minutes, 29.274. The time of Charlie Quarterman. Those of you who've just joined us now, you will understand that the form book has been turned upside down. No one mentioned Charlie Quarterman as the gold medalist, and right now he is still sitting there as the rider in the gold medal position. Superb performance by him in this time trial, riding everything perfectly. As Magnus Backstead messaged us earlier on, his plan was to ride steady in the first half and faster in the second half, and he took great time out of Tom Pidcock in the first phase of this individual time trial, and then in the second phase he absolutely flew.
That's the time to beat. We are expecting to see that time challenged.
He took a lot of time out of Pidcock, 54 seconds. So we wait the arrival then of the last 4 riders. Joe Evans is the rider from St. Piran, who will be one of the next riders to come in. Then Joey Walker, Charlie Tanfield and Tom Bayliss to decide where these medals are going. Thanks to all of you for joining us. This is the live stream of the Under-23 National Time Trial Championship.
Team car sitting behind Tanfield. He's on his way in towards us. Remember, he's got.
So who's going to take it? There's the results so far. Is it going to be Quarterman who takes the gold? Will Pidcock get a medal? Will Hayter stay up there? Because Tanfield and Bayliss were the pre-race favourites. So far things are going relatively to form, except for that performance of the young rider from Leopard Pro Cycling.
Still to complete his second lap. He's the only man who has the form to challenge Joey Walker. I think lost too much time now. He's not going to challenge. Our next rider in should be Tanfield, though. The rider who we think is on a target to take that gold medal. It's going to mean, if that's the case, Quarterman and Pidcock will be hanging on to see if they've got...
So the hot seat right now is very, very hot out here for Quarterman. We know that Tanfield is not far away. Who's coming to the line then? Here we go with Charlie Tanfield. No, in fact, hitting the line then, the Team Wiggins rider, Joey Walker. But behind him is the arrival then of Charlie Tanfield. Tanfield goes to the top of the leaderboard. 36 minutes, 1.852. 27 seconds faster. Charlie Tanfield goes into the gold medal position. 27 seconds faster than Quarterman, and then Pidcock in third place. Back out on the course now with Tom Bayliss of One Pro Cycling, the final rider to finish this individual time trial. So his race against time, 36 minutes, 1.852. Right now in the hot seats, Tanfield has the gold medal. Quarterman has the silver. Pidcock has the bronze medal. As Bayliss leans into the turn there. Bayliss, 22 years of age. Silver medalist last year. We know that he's been on very, very good form recently. Has the form come a week too early? He looked very good last weekend. Bayliss turning his way through these. He doesn't look like he's right on the limit. Maybe just not feeling the heat today. It's very, very warm. Riding for this One Pro Cycling team, the team of Matt Pryor, the England cricketer. And they've had their challenges. They went up to Pro Continental level, then they dropped back down to Continental level. But since then, they've signed some very good sponsors, Aston Martin and Stork in particular. Well, he's working hard, isn't he? The time to beat, 36 minutes, 1.852. Tanfield has gone 27 seconds faster than Quarterman. To get a medal, Tom Bayliss needs to finish in 37 minutes, 23.428 to beat the time of Pidcock, who is currently in the bronze medal position. Well, he's giving us everything. That head is rocking quite a lot today. You don't normally see Bayliss's head rocking that much. I think he's under pressure. Certainly the cadence is very, very high, but he does look like he's pushing it rather than it flowing, and that is the difference in this this discipline. When you are right on form, when you are just flowing with energy, when everything is going right, these riders look like they are just ripping along the road. Wearing number 1 as the highest ranked rider of last year. He's not far from the finish line now. We know he's in the last couple of minutes of this ride. There he can see the turn in towards the finish. Tom Bayliss, I don't think this is going to be the winning time. You can see the shoulders just don't have that look of speed. Now he sets himself up for the run-in to Kirkley Hall, to the finish line. The time to beat for a medal, 37.23.428. Over the speed bump for Tom Bayliss, a little bit dicey there as he almost took a little bit of air. Now he's going to set himself up for the finish line, but the time to beat, I wonder whether he's going to be anywhere close to it. Tom Bayliss of One Pro Cycling heading towards the conclusion of this time trial. Almost there then for Tom Bayliss. Let's see as he hits the line now. The time of Tom Bayliss, 7th fastest time. So the medals are going to Tanfield, to Quarterman and Pidcock. Bayliss just couldn't perform on the day with that time. 37.46.942, 145 off the pace of Charlie Tanfield. Confirmation then of the results. Charlie Tanfield wins the gold. He takes the under-23 national title. He succeeds Scott Davis, who's turned pro, of course, for Dimension Data. Charlie Quarterman of Leopard Pro Cycling takes the silver medal, 27 seconds down, and that is a surprise medal for Charlie Quarterman, but that is very well deserved. And he beats the world champion of the junior time trial, Tom Pidcock of Team Wiggins, 37.23.428. Pidcock takes the bronze medal today. In a few moments then we'll bring you the podium presentation. All the riders are now in, and hopefully we'll briefly hear from Charlie Tanfield, the winner of this HSBC UK British Cycling National Time Trial Championship. Thank you for staying with us. In a few moments, the podium presentation.
They'll get the Track World Cup, so UCI Track World Cup coming back to London, and you can volunteer for that on the site. So they've got lots of opportunities to do so. Lots of opportunities up here in Northumberland as well. Northumberland, the cycling-friendly counties, and as we know from our riders who we've sent out and around the course and now on the cyclone wrecking it to give us an idea of what the conditions are like out there.
Everyone making their way then to the podium, and in a few moments we'll bring you the presentation of today's race. Don't forget, at 5 o'clock this afternoon we'll bring you the final race of the day, the Men's Elite Time Trial Championship.
Quarterman and Tom Pidcock down on the stage very shortly.
Charlie Tanfield being congratulated by Tim Elverson, his team manager. I don't know whether he's crying or whether it's the sun lotion in his eyes from today. It's very, very warm out here. Charlie Tanfield will make his way to the podium in a few moments' time. Confirmation then of the medals. Charlie Tanfield, Canyon Iceberg, takes the gold. Charlie Quarterman, Leopard Pro Cycling, takes the silver. Tom Pidcock of Team Wiggins takes today's bronze. We're getting ready now for the podium presentation. We'll leave you with the results as we build up for the podium. But don't forget, 5 o'clock UK time is the time of the Men's Time Trial Championship. In a few moments then we're going to hear from Charlie Tanfield and we'll bring you the presentation of today's race. In a few moments then, the presentation, the podium about to start.
Outlets will be on the British Cycling website, www.britishcycling.org.uk. They will also be up Cycling Weekly with the presence here, and of course Velo UK in the shape of Larry Hickmore. Okay, we are ready to go with the presentations. Ladies and gentlemen, the medal ceremony for the Under-23 Men 2018 HSBC UK National Time Trial Championships. The medals and a jersey will be presented by Alistair McLennan of the British Cycling Board. In third place, taking the bronze medal, it is Tom Pidcock of Team Wiggins.
Tom Pidcock onto the stage as the bronze medalist in this time trial. All the indications were, with him breaking records a couple of weeks ago, that he could be the winner today, but Pidcock, the junior world champion, takes today's bronze. A very great performance here by Charlie Quarterman of Leopard Pro Cycling.
And in first place,
he's the surprise on this podium this afternoon, but very, very good indeed. He can be very proud of that performance today.
Charlie Tanfield of Canyon Iceberg.
Charlie Tanfield of Canyon Iceberg. Well, two youngsters alongside him in Pidcock and Quarterman, but Charlie Tanfield was the pre-race favourite with Tom Bayliss and Pidcock, but he's produced the performance that everyone was hoping for today. Charlie Tanfield continues another great season. Tanfield, the national champion of the time trial.
Give a big round of applause. Your top three: bronze medalist Tom Pidcock, silver medalist Charlie Quarterman, and your British Cycling national champion, it is Charlie Tanfield.
Well done to those riders.
The mass exodus from the front of the stage begins. This is where we see who's brave enough to get the champagne.
And so it's time to shake the bubbles as Tanfield gets everybody. Well, they're going to enjoy that. Let's see who wins the titles at the weekend. Pidcock has been on tremendous form on the road. For those three riders, fantastic racing.
We'll start off with the third place here, and I'll squeeze it in between these two. Tom, I was talking to your dad yesterday at the Oakley Cricket. He said you were confident, but that you didn't think the course was particularly hilly. Is that reflected in that bronze medal?
It's definitely a course for bigger, stronger riders, I'd say. Well, looking at these two, but yeah, it's a there's no rest on that course, and like even on the downhill you can't really get up to speed, or it's just constantly just on the pedals, and yeah, it's a really tough course.
You must be looking forward though to Sunday. We've got a few more hills out on the rails in particular.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a hard race. That's what I'd like it to be, and yeah, it's another race and another opportunity to try and win a national jersey.
Well, we will see on Sunday. Good luck. We're going to move across now. Charlie Quarterman came in, and if we'd have had a hot seat out in the sun, you'd have been in it for a long, long time. You came through a really quick time. Charlie put in a time of 36 minutes, 29 seconds. Really, really quick. One of only 2 riders to get inside the 37-minute mark. Did you have a game plan setting out, a target time?
No, not really. I thought I'd work it out along the way and just see how fast I can go, really. I've only done like 5 time trials in my life, so I thought, yeah, see what happens, go quite fast, and yeah, see how tired I am at the end.
Well, so with a bit more practice then, you never know what colour it might be.
Yeah, you never know. Oh, it was bloody hard though. Didn't realise how tough this time trialling was, eh?
Yeah, five times in, you can still sort of plead ignorance, and your legs hurting now, I guess?
Yeah, and I'm suffering with the heat quite a bit as well. Really sweat.
Yeah, definitely not going to need to start with your chips tonight, are you? So 1 man left to go. It's going to be our national champion, Charlie Tanfield. Charlie, and stripy jersey, you're no stranger to them, on home turf. Had you ridden the course before? Had you done lots of prep out there?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a local course. I've spent last few weeks riding it most days. So yeah, I knew exactly what I wanted to do coming into it, and how I wanted to ride it. So yeah, it was basically just executing the plan and making sure that nothing went wrong on the day.
Well, it certainly seemed to go to plan. Fastest splits all the way round, no problems at all, and traded up the medals up to the gold medal. Does this mean you're now on some absolutely flying form for Sunday?
I mean, I've just been doing TT training and then the odd bit of track as well, so I don't really have a clue, to be honest. Yeah, I just want to enjoy the TT. That was my main goal, and we'll see how the road race goes, and yeah, try and get a result there.
Well, enjoy the jersey. I'm sure you won't be sleeping in it. It seems it's covered in champagne. Thank you very much, Charlie. Put your hands together. Your top 3 in the race today. 3rd place, Tom Pickott. 2nd place, Charlie Quarterman. Top spot, Lowboy, Charlie Tanfield. Fantastic stuff. Thank you very much, gents. Right, we are going to have a slight break.
There's our podium. Don't forget, we have at 5 o'clock UK time, so 1.5 hours. We have the Men's Elite Time Trial Championship, so we'll bring you all the action from that. Some big names chasing the British Champions jersey.
I'm going to get the riders down backstage. I think they're just running away super fast. And we'll be getting them for interviews. So we'll be going out on the...
So we're just going to hear from Charlie Tanfield before we close. Give you the opportunity to hear from him as to what his thoughts were on today's time trial. We've heard a little bit from him so far, but we'll just have a quick chat with him. Don't forget, join us at 5 o'clock. 1.5 hours until we bring you the Men's Elite Time Trial to end today's live streaming here on Facebook of the HSBC UK British Cycling Time Trial Championships. Let's hear now from Charlie Tanfield.
Charlie, Commonwealth champion, world champion, and now national under-23 champion. Does it get much better than this?
I mean, yeah, I'm really happy to have finished it off today. I had 2 road targets this year, and it was national TT and then try and get to Worlds as well. So I really wanted to hit this well and make sure, show everyone what I could do. Yeah, and try and get to Worlds, so I can try and execute a plan there. I mean, it's my last year under 23, so I thought, it's the last chance to get a TT World jersey while I'm under 23, so try and make the most of it, I guess.
And talk me through your ride. How much were you aware of the times being set back here and where you stood in the standings?
I didn't have a clue. I just kept on hearing the team car behind me screaming at me up, up, and I thought Bayliss was catching me, so I was like, oh no, it's not going to plan today, it's just not my day. And I just kept on going and just riding my own race, and yeah, it come together at the end. I didn't have a clue that I was up. In fact, I thought I was down, so sort of made me go a bit harder, I guess.
And what does it mean to you to wear the national jersey?
Oh, it's my first under 23 national jersey on the road, so I'm absolutely ecstatic to have it. Yeah, and yeah, just great to finish it off on the day, and yeah, another one for the collection, I guess.
And finally, how tough was it to win?
Very hard, very hard. I mean, today I thought it's quite a hilly course by my standards. I'm used to the flat, up and down, out and back courses, but quantum time it wasn't. But yeah, I thought it would suit one of the punchier riders. But yeah, it come off, so I was like, I was just really happy, to be honest. It all come together in the end of the day.
Charlie, well done. Congratulations.
Cheers.
Well done to Charlie Tanfield, the new national champion under 23. We're going to be back in 1.5 hours for the men's elite time trial. So go away, enjoy the sunshine, and we'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye for now.